This is Math142 practice test number 12. We're supposed to sketch a graph of this, include a full period, label the x-axis in radians. So let's go ahead and build this thing up. And I'm just going to think about my input of 1/2 x and then my output of just cosine of 1/2 x. And I'll build everything off of it. And if you don't want to do it this way, you can think about this 1/2. What is it going to do? It's going to affect the period, right? We're affecting the inputs before they get run through the function cosine. So this is going to make our period 2 pi divided by 1/2, which is 4 pi. So our period's going to end up being 4 pi. That 3, that multiplier, it's outside, so it's going to affect the y values. It's going to affect our amplitude, 3 times wider from the center. And this plus 4 is also outside. That's going to shift the whole thing up 4. And I'm going to just do that a piece at a time in the table. So 1/2 x, if my inputs into cosine, whoops, that's 1/2 x. If my inputs into cosine end up being 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, then my outputs for cosine, I know cosine starts at 1, it's x. Think about it on the unit circle. 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. So now, let's go back a piece and figure out what x values will give us 1/2 x to input into cosine. So basically what I'm saying is 1/2 of x equals 0. 1/2 of x equals pi over 2. 1/2 of x equals pi. So to figure out what x is, I'm just going to multiply everything by 2. It's like I'm solving a bunch of equations. 1/2 of x equals something, multiply by 2 to know what x is. So 0 times 2 is 0. Pi over 2 is pi, right? It's like the 2's cancel out. Pi times 2 is 2 pi. 3 pi over 2 times 2. 2's gone, so it's 3 pi. 2 pi times 2 is 4 pi. And that syncs up with what I said about the period being 4 pi. So now we're here. So now let's triple it. So here is what I am saying. If cosine of 1/2 x outputs these, 3 cosine of it will be all those outputs times 3. So 3, 0, -3, 0, 3. And then it gets shifted up 4. So it's 4 plus those values. So everything gets 4 added to it. So 7, 4, -1, 4, 7. So that means these inputs give me those outputs. So let's sketch a graph of this, or so. So I've got pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. It's going to get down to -1. It's going to get all the way up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I know it's going to brush on 4 too. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me label that. And these should be equal values. That's probably, there we go, just so it looks a little better. So when x is 0, the output's 7. When x is pi, it's 4. When it's 2 pi, it's -1. 3, it's back at 4. 4 pi, it's up at 7. So there we go. Not very well done to scale, but a graph nonetheless. And everything's labeled.